All right, Doug, it's great to catch up with you here at RCR Live Telco Reinvention. You gave a really interesting presentation earlier in the day about next generation RAN. Maybe pull out some of the highlights for our audience.
Well, thank you. I think some of the highlights for me is examining where we've come from and where we're going to, and what the drivers for where we are going to. The usual actors are driving requirements and vision, and with the ITU and NGMN, ready for somebody like 3GPP to write specifications to build equipment to. But I think the lurker in all of this is that there's a technological revolution ongoing in the form of AI, and that's going to have a massive impact that, to this date, nobody can be quite sure how big that is.
All right, well, we'll get more into AI, ML, but your comment about 3GPP, when we think about Open RAN, we've got a lot of standardization work going on, and one of the kind of core pieces of the value proposition is giving operators optionality as they put together their RAN kit. But maybe talk to us a little bit about the downside of too much optionality and then how that feeds into the standardization specification process.
Yeah, well, over the years, 3GPP is becoming increasingly a menu of choices rather than a solution ready to implement. And that's great because it sort of builds in potentially some flexibility. But from the point of view of somebody building the components and the software that need to go into equipment, and then bearing in mind the test and interoperability required of things like Open RAN, this just makes everybody's life a lot harder. Choice is the enemy of decision. I think I think it would be much more useful, perhaps, going forward, to have less choice at every stage of RAN specification, but to be able to revisit elements of the RAN specification on a more regular basis than once every 10 years or once every 5 if you have an advanced halfway through the cycle.
So generative AI obviously having something of a moment globally right now. There's been some discussion throughout the course of the program around Open RAN, AI, ML. What's the relationship? Maybe help me understand the nuance there.
Okay, well, there's two areas of focus. There's AI in the network, and then there's AI for services and traffic. If we look at AI for the network, AI needs to exist in a number of forms. For automation purposes, there needs to be scope in the network to hoover up data, train models and redeploy them. There's a lot of discussion about using AI to build pieces of the RAN itself to actually accelerate or provide new functionality to make the RAN just work better. I think the opportunity for Open RAN, or more the opportunity for AI, is that Open RAN provides a good platform to try out AI and machine learning pieces. AI and machine learning is comprehended by things like the RAN intelligent controller from the outset. So it provides a platform to be able to rapidly deploy solutions from maybe smaller players so that they can be field trialed and proven and trusted much more quickly than perhaps waiting for more monolithic solutions from the usual incumbents.
Yeah, as I reflect on the conversations that I've had and listened to today, there's this sort of theme. Operators, they've got to do something. They've got to do something to, one, take some costs out of their operation. 2, they need to build platforms that'll help them innovate, help them create new service revenues. Sounds like Open RAN, as it develops, as it gets adopted, is kind of positioned to do both of those things.
Yes, and I think that platform for AI and the ability to bring these things to market quickly is key to that. I think there's also the ability to use AI to allow operators to do new things, changing the way that information is even sent. There's a lot of discussion about the fact that requirements for 6G would involve reducing energy per bit by a factor of 10, but there's all this discussion of the amount of traffic being increased by a factor of 10, so there's no net gain there. So I think there's a definite rethink required, and there's definitely opportunities for generative AI to massively reduce the amount of information that actually needs to be sent over the network.
Excellent, Doug. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to share your thoughts with our audience.
Thank you very much.